You are listening to the USDN on the DFPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. Comic books were never just about stories. They were action figures on bedroom floors, late-night cartoons, spinner racks at grocery stores, convention halls, and entire worlds built from imagination. Tonight, we step into the world of Phantom Inc. comics. From ToteMan to Villains Anonymous, from retro nostalgia to modern indie storytelling, our guest has spent years building comics fueled by heart, humor, fandom, and the spirit of old school creativity. He's a creator, a collector, a convention warrior, and a man proving that indie comics are still one of the purest forms of storytelling left. So whether you grew up chasing comic books, action figures, or Saturday morning cartoons, or you're simply an independent creator, or you simply believe independent creators still matter, pull up a chair, because tonight the Council of Nerds is now in session. John, welcome to the council, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me. That was a great intro.
I got tongue-tied. Tells me I need more coffee, or I need to lay off the coffee, one of the two.
Yeah.
But John, outside of comics, who is John McLaren?
Father. That's basically what I would classify myself as. I have three boys. They're all 11 years apart. I have a 9, 20, and 31-year-old.
Oh, wow, dude. You spaced that out horribly, didn't you?
Each wife got a son, and that was it. So I that's what I think of myself. I'm a dad. I love my kids. This is where it all started with my oldest son. So
yeah.
On the side, I'm also in IT. I do tech support and stuff.
That's freaking awesome. So what kind of pulled you into comic books?
So originally, the first comic book I did was ToteMan, You Are Not Alone, Epilepsy Awareness comic book. My son, who is 31 now, saw me have a seizure when he was 2. And didn't know how to explain it to a kid. So I'm like, how do I explain this to a child to get it through? So I wrote a story, wrote a comic book, and I was working at Canon at the time. And we had to test copiers. So I would test them with my comic book. And
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to waste paper. So I would print out hundreds of these things. And I bought a table at Baltimore Comic-Con. Well, actually, did Philly first because I'm from up that area. Then I went to Baltimore, bought a table, and was just giving out books to the kids about epilepsy. The Epilepsy Foundation of America, someone from one of their people was there at the show, and was like, "Hey, can we print these in color for you?" And I'm like, "Yes, you can." Then they invited me to come to the epilepsy walk. And I did. It came in the costume to talk to kids, speak about it. Then they asked me to come to Virginia the next day before they went to the Senate to talk to senators about epilepsy. And I talked there, talked to the kids. And so I did that first. And then people started asking me, who is ToteMan? So I had to make an origin comic. And at one point, my middle son, decided he was going to be a superhero and he was going to write his own books. So my son Xavier, from when he was 5 through 12, would actually sit down every summer and we'd write a story. Beginning, it was him telling me the story. I'd script it. By the third year, he was doing it on his own. He was quite brilliant. So twists and turns into it. He solved one of my hiccups that I couldn't figure out how to bring a character back. He brought him back in his book. And then after that, my buddy Chris Geruso, we would go to conventions all the time with him. And my son Xavier is like, Mr. Chris, can I use your characters and do a crossover for his original characters, G-Man? Chris is like, yeah. And he did. So he had that created. He's written 4 comic books basically. And yeah, it just continues.
That's really cool.
More and more every year.
So were you influenced by comics, cartoons, toys, or movies growing up more?
Cartoons, comics, and toys. Like He-Man is my absolute favorite toy.
Did you see the new movie?
I have not. It's not out yet. So in 2 weeks.
I thought it was already in theaters.
No, I think it's June 4th.
Okay.
Mandalorian's out now, which I'm going to go see with my son tomorrow. But
yeah.
Masters, I think, is the June 4th. But anyway,
okay,
that is my absolute favorite. I have 2 rooms in my house dedicated to it. I just have a lot of stuff, and that's I mean, one comic book as my ode to it. I don't know how much you can see. Let's see. So that is my He-Man.
Oh, that's really cool.
Ode
crossover comic,
complete with action figures on the back.
Oh, that's really cool.
And next year they will actually be out because if you're going to do something, do it right.
Oh, dude, that's where it is. That's money right there.
And these are completely resin, so they actually you can play with them, move them. He has glow in the dark features. And,
full up articulation, the whole 9, huh?
Yep, and even the rubber band crotch, like all of it. They don't have the twist action. Is the only thing I couldn't get done. But this one actually will disappear. That's his character. He's in Villains Anonymous. So he disappears. So hot water, heat, the character goes from the color here to kind of an opaque.
Dude, I love those. There was
and then
there was an X-Men that did that back in the 90s where you could put them in hot water and they would disappear.
Invisible Woman too. She did it.
Yeah.
King. But yeah, so like that's what I grew up with, and I loved cartoons. I loved He-Man. I loved the comic books, going to the 7-Eleven right down the street and picking them off the rack.
Yeah.
And toys. I mean, I'm an 80s child. Like, so Transformers and He-Man were throughout my entire bedroom. And Star Wars.
G.I. Joe. And I had G.I. Joes.
No, my friend was the Joe. He had all the Joes. I had Transformers, He-Man, and Star Wars.
I think it's cool now because when Skybound brought over G.I. Joe, Transformers, Radiant Black, all of them into one big universe.
Yeah.
And they're doing those cool crossovers with them.
The Energon.
I'm just like, I'm just like, this is so freaking cool.
It is. It's enjoyable.
That's actually on my do you know the open and close signs they sent to all the comic book shops? On the one side it's got Starscream and the other side it's got Optimus Prime. Yeah. Optimus Prime is the open side, Starscream is the closed sign. And that's actually on the front of my cubicle at work.
Nice.
And it stays closed. It stays closed.
Yeah.
They're like, you're in the office, you should flip it to open. I'm like, no.
I like Starscream.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Same. And
like, there's just I mean, that's how I grew up. And like I'm from Jersey. I'm South Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So in the winter, out in the snow, playing with all my toys, playing with my toys in the backyard and everything. So my 5th birthday, 77. Yeah. So it was Star Wars based as well. So everything.
Yeah. You still got all the old 70s figures?
I don't have mine, but my little one, my 9-year-old, is a fanatic about Star Wars, and
Okay.
he prefers the old ones. So he's
Yeah.
getting his own collection of the 70s. I just got him a Millennium Falcon. He has an AT-AT that works.
Mhm.
He has a snow speeder, and then a bunch of figures. And he wants multiples of like Greedo, multiples of the bounty hunters, and then stormtroopers. Like, so yeah.
I have a lot of the TVC, the vintage collection stuff, but I'm actually probably going to end up selling that just so I can get more Black Series. And I do prefer the Black Series a little bit more over the TVC.
Yeah.
And,
well, he had to make a decision. I'm like,
yeah,
you got to make a decision. It's either going to be 3 3/4 or black. And with him, 3 3/4 won instantly. He's like, yeah. All the vehicle, and he also does have a Black Series TIE Fighter and a Black Series the TIE Fighter pilot. I'm like, they're just too big, bud. You can actually play better with the small guy. So
yeah, and that's where I was, because I was doing both. Yeah, and I was like I really don't like the 3 3/4. I do prefer the 7-inch figures with the Black Series.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm like, I got a bunch of 3 3/4 at work, so I'm going to bring those home. They're just on display on my desk, and they're all in the package, and I'll probably end up selling them on Whatnot one night, and just to be rid of them.
Yeah.
And then just focus on the Black Series. So that and comic books. That's where I'm at. Put some more money in my account so I can back some more Kickstarters and do that kind of stuff, because that's really what I'm all about. So
I'm with you there. I like Kickstarters, and I like doing the ads. I try to find Kickstarters that have ads for my books.
Yeah, I do like the name stuff, and I just plug the podcast name into it, and that way when people get to the back of the book and see the names, they can go, "What the hell's USDN Podcast?" And 9 times out of 10, that person's been on the podcast before, so it's really cool.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, that's what I like doing. I love doing Kickstarters. I do all kinds, toys, video games.
Oh, dude! At this point, I'm a super backer, and I've been trying to get them to either partner with me or give me affiliate links or something to use for them and with them. But again, who am I? That's the way they see it. I'm like, I'm just the guy that interviews all the guys selling their books on your website. But okay.
Exactly. No, it's hard nowadays to break into these things.
It really is, and it's a process that I'm working, and eventually it gets there. Just got to be patient. But so if people don't know, you are Gen X Toy Box. Where did that identity come from?
It was a joke on Facebook during COVID. Like, I just made another page for my stuff. Yeah. And I was taking pictures of all my Gen X stuff. And I'm like, you know what? My buddy's like, we can use this. So then he designed the logo for me, because I made a really, really bad one. I'm like, I want graffiti on it. Like, I want it to feel like graffiti or not. So I showed it to him. He's like, no. Then he created one for me, which is what I use now. And it just slowly got bigger and bigger. And then I'm like, I have a storage unit that I'm paying fees on. It keeps going up, keeps going up, keeps going up.
Yeah. I seen storage fee prices not that long ago, and I was just like,
it's insane. Nope. Like, it's not even like a year or whatever. It's like every 3 months. So at one point I'm like, wait, and I found an antique mall. I'm like, how much for a booth? And they're like, oh, I'm like, that's just like $15 more than my rent for the storage unit. This way I can make some money. And my buddy went and he designed all the Gen X logo toy box. Like, I have tags, I have the price stickers, we have everything to make it feel retro. So he did all that for me, and we set it up in there, and it's making money. I'm like, all right. I take that, I put it towards the comic books, and I just keep the cycle going.
That's really cool that you're able to capitalize on stuff that would just sit there collecting dust. And as long as you don't have that emotional attachment to it, it's easy to let go, right?
There's things that were under my house that I had no idea were in the house.
Yeah.
But then my wife at the time, she was doing the Gen X toy box like videos and whatnot, unboxings, and took a trip underneath the house, which was the funniest video because like, where'd that come from? What? Huh? Just bins and bins and bins in my crawl space. But that's all now like cool, it's for sale. So I still do most of my social media is, here's this thing, do the rotations, do the theme song for the cartoon if they have it. And I'm like, you might find this at my store. So go to my store and look at it. Between eBay and the booth.
Yeah.
It pays for it. So
hey, that's where you need to be, man.
I agree.
So what is Phantom Inc. Comics now?
Now it is a much bigger brand than it ever was. So Phantom Inc. comes from probably 84. My father passed away when I was 12. And that Halloween, my mom had a Cub Scouts and she asked me to do a haunted house for them because I love horror. And I did we had a house, a breezeway, and a garage. So I did the whole entire breezeway and everyone loved it. So from 84 through 92, I ran a haunted house out of my mother's house every year. And it was under Phantom Inc. I don't know why. That was cool. It.
Yeah.
So as I became an adult, and I'm like, well, I have a comic book now. I'm going to do Phantom Inc. Comics. And that's how it started. I now have, I think, 8 books, 8 titles currently. And my goal, which on your Instagram.
Yeah, I did use the 7-year plan for the you sent me 2. I didn't know which one was right, so I just rolled the dice and picked one.
It was a 7-year plan of 24 to 30, 1 book a year. Well, that got blown out of the water because it's 2 books a year now. 24 had 2 books, 25 had 2 books, this year had 2 books, and I have 3 or 4 more complete. Like I don't want to push them all out at once, so I'm doing it. My birthday's in May, so I'm like, I'm gonna do every May a new book, and then another book somewhere in the year. So I have all of the ones that are listed on there right now. Currently, are finished. They're done. Like Villains Anonymous is complete, so there's no worry about the Kickstarter. It is complete. Oh, that was one of my ads. I am an 80s child, so I have 80s ads throughout all the books.
Oh, dude, this is like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that was the handheld Tiger Electronics.
Yeah.
So I also in college made a video game, a functional video game with ToteMan, and there was an ad back in the day for an Atari Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. So I took that ad, remade it into ToteMan and Hair Freon, and the screenshots that are in each of the monitors is real from the video game. So
that's really cool.
The only thing left for me is animation. One day I will get it animated. And I have a guy who did from Kubert School in Jersey, actually storyboarded that whole epilepsy awareness comic into a PSA cartoon, which is the ultimate goal. Like when we were kids, we had all those PSAs we had to watch. What if you have to watch a cartoon? What if you have to watch a cartoon about stuff? Like, so that's the goal. One day I'm going to find somebody who can fund it, and we're going to make a cartoon of the epilepsy comic book.
Dude, that'd be cool. Especially for schools. That would be really cool for schools. So was the goal when you started making comic books to have a connected universe between all your characters?
So the goal originally was just to spread awareness for epilepsy. But then it grew into, like, when my son started doing it, that he really put the universe together. Because my oldest son, created a character to go with my character at one point. Never did anything with it. And then we created their Teen Titans, which is Teen Angst. And we just had it just floating around. But when Xavier started, like, he started pulling my characters in. Like, I'm using this one. I'm using this one. I'm taking this one. and he just built his universe, and like it went into my universe, but like I said, he fixed a plot hole that I couldn't figure out how to fix.
Yeah.
And he said, "This is what's going to happen, Dad," and he did. Like, and it worked so well. And then I've always had, I mean, I've had all these things written down since 94, 95. I just like building and like this. I just like, and when people see it and they come back to me, because I'm not a big name guy, but I do a lot of conventions in North Carolina, and there are people who come back and go, "Oh, I remember this book. I want this one now. I want to try a different one." I have parents who are like, "My son wants to do comics," and I keep telling them, like, "Well, this is my son and I. We did this for 7 years." I'm like, that's really cool. So he can be done. Like, I sit and talk to the kids. I'm like, "Yeah, if you're doing it," and I use Kablam. I like Kablam printing. They've done nothing but great things for me. So I always tell them, "Hey, use them. You can buy a single book. You can do it. Just buy a single one, and it's yours." I bought like 4 Villains Anonymous just so I can go in there and, the serif eye, I gotta fix that. Oh, I gotta do it because I do the writing, the color flatting, and the lettering in all my books. So I'm like, I go in there and do lettering. I always forget the serif eye with the crossbar and not doing it for capitalized only when it's I. And I'm like, So I'm like, okay, I have to go in and check those. So I do. I print them out a couple at a time and go through it, check it, and then I can sell them.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Especially, getting to do it with your son must have been like the best thing ever.
It was. He was invited to Baltimore, was given a table at Baltimore, and they did the cosplay, which we also enjoyed, the family. And I built his suit, his bubbler suit, and made the bubble guns blow bubbles.
Yeah. He
went on stage and blew everybody away. He beat grown adults in cosplay. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then people came back to the table and were buying stuff because it was him, and he did it. It wasn't me. I'm like, yeah, I got to help you find the artist. I got to do this stuff, but this is his thing. And he was very well spoken. He had a blast, and I loved it. He was invited to Heroes as well. So
yeah,
it's nice.
Oh, that's really cool. So how hard is it building an indie comic line from the ground up with today's market?
Oh, extremely.
And I know you've been at it for a little while, so you've had some practice in this at this point.
Yeah, the end of 94 is when I created the character, ToteMan, for my son, so he'd have something to remember me by, because I thought I was going to pass away early like my dad did. I have epilepsy. All these things were worrisome. So I made this character, and I was showing it to my friends, and we started making more characters, and I started doing the circuit in 2002 in Philly. And I don't know, it's hard. You can't even give comic books to some people. Like, they don't even take it from you. But I have an advantage now, all 20 some years later. I do conventions with Chris Geruso, who does mini Marvels and all that kind of stuff. He's my best friend. So he's like, come and sit at the table with me. Come and do the table with me. And for the last 2 years, I mean, I'm now selling out of my books at shows.
Dude, that's big. Because I know a lot of people just walk by their stuff.
It is. And I help him talk to people while he's drawing, and I sell my stuff. And it's just, people understand it. People see it. They love it. Like my sock comic, the Argyle Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
It is what happens to your sock when he's lost in the dryer. He's out fighting crime. So that's a pitch that you can get a person quickly on.
Yeah,
the Argyle Avenger, and it's a silent book. It was an experiment, like an old 30s thing. So there's a few like sound effects, but mostly it's silent, so a kid can take it and not worry about reading. They make up the thing in their head. People who are dyslexic can read it easily and just enjoy the book. People who don't speak English, they enjoy the book. And it's funny. I mean, the fact that like your sock's out fighting crime, and that number 2 comes out next year. So like, it's just things that come up, and
yeah,
I've never been afraid to try something. My friends laugh at me and they say, you're the guy who jumps off a bridge and figures out what you're doing on the way down. I'm like, try it. Like, what's the harm in it? Like, this stuff sat for years, but now that I'm down here with a bunch of conventions, people are buying my books and it's freaking me out. People are asking for my signatures. It freaks me out. Like, why? I'm nobody. But today I had a bunch of people. I told you before we started. I had somebody just said, "Hey, you want to come down and do a show thing?" And I'm like, "Sure." Went down, sold a bunch of books, and then people were asking me for autographs. I'm like, "Yeah, but okay."
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. It is really hard. Yeah. If it's your single job, I don't suggest it. I thankfully have a job in IT, pays for my bills, and now Jack's Toy Box pays for my obsession with comic books. But I've met so many people over the years. I've been to San Diego. I've been all over. I have artists from around the world that I use to do whatever. I will never use AI. So like I can't draw to save my life. So I'm going to hire somebody. I'm going to find somebody. If I can't afford it, it can get done. I have to keep going with artists and doing the stuff I love the way I love it.
Yeah. No, I know exactly how you feel there, because I when I was younger, I thought I could draw great, and then when I got older and I met people who could actually draw, I was like, well, shit, I guess I really can't draw, huh?
Yeah, my original.
I think I got a strong imagination and I can write, so.
Right. Well, my original drawing is a tattoo on my arm, my first tattoo I ever got, and I would take it to shows and say, I would like you to draw this guy, and have to stand there so they could see what it was, draw him.
Yeah.
And then after probably about a year, I got turnarounds drawn, which I suggest for anybody who writes or draws turnarounds. Oh my God, they're so helpful. This is my guy, I'll be back later. This is my guy, I'll be back later. Mm-hmm. All my books are the same because there's distinguishing features and the turnarounds for every one of my characters.
Yeah. So, ask you this: what's harder, creating comics or getting people to notice them at this point?
Getting people to notice them at this point.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I mean, like I said, I go to Kablam, you can buy one book. Like, you can make your own comic book with your kid and just do it. Like, we'll do them at the house. We'll fold a piece of paper up into 4 and then cut the top off, staple it, and that's his comic book. And he draws that, and he'll sit and do that for hours. Like, It's easy to make the comic book. It's easy to write it and whatnot. It's so difficult to get people to stop and go, that's not Batman. That's not Superman. That's not Spider-Man. I don't want that. Our stories are just as good, if not better sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're different.
And I've had people on and, always try to, especially when they're young and they're new to this and they've got their very first comic book coming out, I always try to give them the opportunity on the show, like, sell me your book.
Right.
Like, give me your 2-minute pitch. And they're like, my what? I'm like, yeah, your 2-minute pitch. Yeah, sell me your book. I'm like, I'm going to have you on the show for like an hour and a half. You're selling your book to a big audience at that point. But if you only have me for 2 minutes and I walk up to your table at a con, you go, tell me about your book.
Yep.
If you can't tell me what your book is about, I don't care. Like, exactly. I'm going to walk away. If you can't sell it to me in 2 minutes or less, you've lost them.
I got the 9-year-old doing that now, which is also helpful. Believe me.
Yeah. Especially if the kid is cute, right? Cute kids.
Yeah, and adorable. So he'll yell to the people, you want to hear about my books? And they'll walk over and he'll do his 2-minute pitch between the sock. He knows them all. And different ones he'll pick and he'll just go, this is what happens to your sock when it's lost in a dryer. He's out fighting crime. This book, my father and my dad did for 7 years. My brother from when he's 5 till he's 12. He does the whole thing each time, and he does well. But you have to get.
He's going to be his freshman year in college when he gets ready to do speech. He's gonna be already there, man.
He has no fear with that. I've been doing it for 2 years with him now, and he's just it's something he likes to do, and he does well with it, and it gets him to talk to people, and it gets him out of his shell, to get him comfortable.
Mm-hmm. So I know we've been talking, we've name dropped ToteMan a few times now, but
Yep.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of who is ToteMan.
ToteMan is also a father, because all my stuff is, but ToteMan is a character that was supposed to make fun of me in 1994, before my son was born in 95. He has a Wolverine mask. Of course he does. Wolverine was my favorite.
Yeah.
If I got superpowers tomorrow, I'd have a Wolverine mask. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Everything about him is things I don't like about myself. The cape. I would never have a superhero with a cape. It doesn't make sense. The screwdriver on his chest is because I fix machines. I'm at IT. I work on Canon copiers. I've worked on faxes. I'm that old. I've worked on arcade games. I've worked mechanically my entire life. So I gave him a flaming screwdriver. It's just they were to make fun of me, and then it became more. So ToteMan gets his screwdriver from his father, who died when he was young, and the screwdriver was lost in the mail. It arrives on his 18th birthday. The screwdriver gives him his powers. So the metal is actually from a sword, the flaming sword from Scotland. I am Scottish, if the last name doesn't give it away. I'm first generation here, actually. So, like, the sword destroyed Sam Hain, it's actually Sam Wen, but people call him Sam Hain. And the sword was broken so that nobody else could get hurt by it. It was given to different clans in Scotland, our groups, our family members. My grandfather forged his into a screwdriver to hide it. And that's what gives us all our powers. The screwdriver.
Dude, I like it.
Who ToteMan is. And ToteBoy is a fun story because it's the similar thing. He's half hero, half villain. He's mad at his father, ToteMan.
Of course he is.
Like him, is pissed off at him, and steals a
He's
screwdriver.
going through his emo years, okay?
I'm sorry?
He's going through his emo years, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, trust me. Because the ToteBoy origin book, the two older boys wrote together. So Xavier created Dirty DJ, but Dave had created ToteBoy years before that. So I told the two boys together, I'm like, you guys got to figure out how he becomes him, because they're all in the same universe. So it's all about divorce and whatnot. And this is a flip book, so we got this. We got two stories in one, which this is about bullying and whatnot. It's our dog Ace and whatnot. So it's a family thing, family stories, fun things to do. My plan is I have to do a horror book once, but I'm not sure when that's coming. I've already written most of it. That's coming out. I'm enjoying the origins of the characters because I never sat down and thought about it. Never. People were like, well, how, like you're saying, how do I pitch it? I don't know. I just made up something stupid years ago. So that's why the origins are more important to me right now.
Yeah. So you had mentioned earlier about your epilepsy and how ToteMan was created to help explain that to your son. Was there ever a hesitation about blending the real world awareness behind this medical illness into a superhero comic?
No, never in a million. So it was originally written as a story in college. And when I was in one of my Photoshop classes or whatever for my elective, I was in a class and there was this girl who was there with her mom. And we were talking back and forth, and I gave her a copy of it, a printed copy, of course, because we're talking years ago. Gave her a printed copy of it. She took it home. She brought it back. Her mom gave it to me, and she's like, she was in tears. I'm like, oh God, why? I'm sorry. She has epilepsy. That's why I'm in class with her. I'm like, oh, she loved it. I'm like, oh.
That's
Everybody
really cool.
else showed to it that knew a person with epilepsy or had it was just like, this is really amazing. I had written it in Jamaica, like while I was in college, but then the script for the comic book came during college, and I'm like, oh, that's the answer. This is going to work.
Yeah.
And then when the Epilepsy Foundation of America found it, they're like, we love this. We want to help you with this. So, like, no, I've never been ashamed of talking about it since I was a kid. It's a scary thing to talk about to people. People freak out.
Yeah. I'm sure they do. So what do you think makes superheroes such an effective way to explain difficult topics to children?
It's easy to read. It's colorful. It's not especially mine. Mine are not dumbed down.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like talking down.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I believe that if you're going to have a difficult conversation with a child, don't dumb it down.
Correct.
They understand so much more than you will think they do. Just tell them about it and what it is. And
it clicks with some people. Like here's a superhero who has epilepsy. He is a superhero. This does not stop him. Like, we went so far into it that, like, I had to think about the reason he has white eyes, like, the Batman eyes and everything. I'm like, why does he have that? It's not to hide his eyes. They reflect so that the flashing lights of a villain would not affect him, because flashing lights affect me. So we're going to have a story where it happens to him, and then he realizes he has to put those in. Like, it's all these things that, like, why does this work? And again, it's kids like to emulate. Kids like to see their heroes, their parents, superheroes. And it's like NinjaBoy, that comic book is also epilepsy awareness, but you don't know it. It is. Yeah. ToteMan is ham-fisted. It's all about it. It's subtle in the NinjaBoy story. It's at the very end, after all the fighting's done, something happens. And it's like, no. But it's not like pushed down their throat, where ToteMan really is. It's all like, no, this is what it's about. No, his hands are busted. This is what it's about. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, superheroes do well. Like, they've done other things. They've done drugs with Green Arrow and Speedy. They've done other stuff. They've done I'm Gen X, so I'm sorry, give me a second. Homosexuality with North Star in Alpha Flight. It's just something that it broaches the other people that they're not afraid to. They can now see it, they can now read it and not be embarrassed by these things. Yeah, so, which is a great segue for the question that I had coming up. Yeah. So do indie comics have an advantage over mainstream comics when it comes to telling personal stories like that? I think I really don't see a lot of that in the Marvel and DC world, especially anymore. Right, exactly. Not since the 80s and the Spider-Man crossover with the Power Pack and whatnot. I would say if you want to sell comics, it's not as easy, that thing. But yeah, I never wanted to sell originally. I wanted to give away. So it is a lot easier. I mean, wholeheartedly, I can tell whatever I want. You don't buy it, you don't buy it. I have nobody telling me, you can't deal with that. You can't say that. Yeah. It's a great thing about being a comic, right? Right. Ain't nobody tell you what to do. All of them are like, they're all kid friendly, my books. But Villains Anonymous is going to be like teenage because there's a bar scene. And I gave it to a librarian who I know. She's like, yeah, that's kind of, you want to keep it away from little kids. I'm like, that's why I gave it to you. I wanted to see what you thought. So I do go out and I do check things before I just do it. I have people who read things. I have other people I just talk to, but no, there's nothing to stop me from doing whatever I want. And it's a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of stories being told, a lot of personal stories being told in indie. No, 100%. And I know, what's his name? I think Mark is his name, but let me confirm. Let me go to 2026. I think I had him. Oh, come on. There we go. Or was he on in January? I do a lot of interviews, so I'm sorry. Well, no, you're fine. Here we go.
Mark Dooley is literally telling his whole entire life story right now through comics, from the time he met his wife to before they met. Like, it is just this like beautiful comic book. He's in his 70s, I think, now, and he's still writing them. He's drawing them, and just telling this beautiful story of his life with his wife and
that's awesome.
Their struggles. And I'm just like, dude, this is so freaking cool. Like,
yeah,
this is such a wholesome, probably one of the most wholesome stories I've ever had the chance to take people on, you know, through the journey of who Mark is. And such a fantastic dude, man.
Nice.
Like, it was so heartwarming to get to tell his story. And I'm just like, shit, dude, this is like, damn it, man. What's up, Cat and Knot? He just had a book. I think he's got a book right now on Kickstarter, if I'm not mistaken. So if anybody's interested in checking his book out, especially if you love cats, definitely give him a follow. He's at the Cat and Knot on everything, I believe. But
I just saw Cat and Knot. Just say hi.
But so when you first released ToteMan and you started getting the initial responses from readers, how did that, like, what was your reactions to how they were responding to this story? Especially, I mean, you have the Epilepsy, was it American Epilepsy Society or whatever? What is it?
Epilepsy Foundation of America.
Epilepsy Foundation of America. I was almost there. But like, to be able to work with them with this book and to bring this to a higher level, because I have friends who have epilepsy, and that shit is scary. I don't care what age you are. When you see this happen to somebody you love or you care about, it's still extremely scary.
And again, picture at 2 years old and just seeing Daddy fall down. I was a single dad. He said, "Daddy fall down, Daddy fall down." That's all he could say. And I'm like, I don't know how. And like, it's not even just the grand malls that I have. Like, you also, like, the petite malls where you just stare into space. You can't make a comic of that. People are like, "Oh," I'm like, you can't. There's no way to visualize that. You don't get that while you're in a movie, a TV show, sure, but comic book, it's just not going to work. But there's a page in my book where the massive seizures I had in my life. And like, it's still freaks me out to this day. Like, this is these are the grand malls I had in life. You know, starting in high school, kids laughing at me because, you know, I peed my pants because I had a full.
You have no. You
I have nothing.
Bodily functions just release.
I lost my job at Canon because I had a seizure at one of the companies. I was fixing their copier and I had a seizure and I was laid off, and then they couldn't fill it again, even though I had built most of that part of the thing. I built machines, I fixed machines. I went to Navy places. I went to everywhere, taught people about it. I was the only technician who could do copier, fax, and printer at the time. Like, I knew them all, but they couldn't find a place for me. So I'm like, I get it. Like, it's a lot, and to see one, I've only seen one, and I don't want to see one again. I've never seen my own. They're scary. Like, not what you see on TV. They're a lot worse than what you see on TV. So it was great that the Epilepsy Foundation, like I said, I thought they were going to yell at me for doing it. But again, like Indy, I can do whatever I want. But I'm like, are you going to have a problem with this? Like, no, we love it. I'm like, oh. And they were all about it. I'm like, this is awesome. This is what I want. This is what I want. The goal is a cartoon, and the other goal is to get it into hospitals and schools, the comic book itself. That's what I want. Take it for free. I don't want it. Just take it, use it. And next year, I think we're actually going to redo this because I'm almost out of this version too. So I think we're going to redraw it a little bit nicer going forward. But I mean, it was weird. It wasn't talked about a lot when I was growing up. People did, but now I talk about it all the time. Just who I am. It's part of me. People don't like being called epileptics. I don't know what the whole word system is nowadays. People don't like calling it a disease, having fits. I've had it since the early 70s. It's
Yeah.
if I was a few years older, I would have been put in a sanitarium. Because in the 60s, you were put in a sanitarium if you had epilepsy. You couldn't take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I made it by a few years.
Hey, there we go, man.
So
big ups to mom and dad on that one.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, no, I have no other than seizures once in a while. Like I fully function as an adult. I have kids. I have a house, job.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stop me.
No,
from
I'm glad it didn't stop you, man. And I hate anytime I hear about somebody suffering from an illness, getting laid off due to it, and then not having a job. Like that to me just bothers me so much.
You can't fight it. They'll come up with something else. But I had a full-on seizure fixing a copier at a naval base.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's what happened. I can't help it. So
yeah, dude, I fuck that. Sorry, that's one of my
oh no, I got very angry.
Yeah,
I was very angry at that company. So, but I've persevered. I've been at other companies. I stay at a company because that's our generation. You know, I've been at my current one for almost 10 years. So
good. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about Villain Anonymous now.
Yes.
So this is kind of like a different tone from ToteMan. Where did this one come from? Or was this another one of your kids like, hey,
no,
let's do
this was me. I just thought it'd be funny. And I copywrote Villains Anonymous like right away because I'm like, I know I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to do something with this. And just, you know, what about the losers, the really terrible villains? Like one of the villains in here, he's robbing a gift store for a snow globe. His guns have the styrofoam peanuts. Doesn't even have anything else. He's just that bad. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm like, what about those guys? So it just slowly progressed with, okay, well, here we got this guy, we got this guy, we got this guy. And basically what Villains Anonymous is doing is they're not helping the villains. They're deciding who they can use in their corporation to be a better villain or experiment on versus the guy with the styrofoam penis who's going to go nowhere in life.
Yeah.
So it's just, we have all the other anonymouses, alcoholics, narcotics. I just thought it'd be kind of an interesting twist, and to see.
It's almost like I don't know if you ever seen the Facebook. Or I don't know if he's on Facebook or YouTube, but the Villain Help Desk.
No, I haven't seen that. I gotta look for that.
Oh, yeah. So it's like villains call into their help desk, and the guy he helps them. He's like, "Oh, I'm trying to." Like the ones with the Predator are absolutely hilarious. They're like, you cannot assimilate, with the Borg or whatever,
Yeah. No,
and it's just hilarious. Like, because he's like he had what's his name, Harry Dresden in the Harry Potter world. Exactly. So it's kind of like there's a guy here in a trench coat and a cane. You're like, wait, what's he look like? And he's like, shit, just run. Voldemort, just run. There's like a fireball. There's a huge fireball falling out of the sky. And then Voldemort's like, this is my immense power. He's like, no, Voldemort, run.
It's like, how bad can I make a villain? Like, not like even evil, just terrible at their job.
Yeah, dude, I love those types of concepts, though, man. Those to me are just so fun. Like, and just the worst of the worst villains.
Exactly. And on like day one, anybody who does a
Villain Anonymous coin
physical, you get a 1 month chip.
Dude, that's awesome.
Villains Anonymous 1 month chip that you didn't do anything bad for 1 month. It's just,
what? So, there's some Batman comics where it tells the story of some of those really bad villains and like kind of how Batman has looked over those really bad villains and then set them up later in life. And I know they're not like key comics, so people don't collect them. They're just very heartfelt stories from that perspective. Like, the one who learns who, that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he wants to sell that information, and everybody's like, we're not touching that. Like, no, we do not want that.
Actually,
we don't want the wrath of Batman on us. So no, I do not want that. You take that information someplace else. And eventually, Bruce Wayne runs into him, and he's like, hey, I think we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
And then Batman's like, takes care of his son, like gets him set up on scholarships and, make sure he gets through school and turns his life around. And he gets his father the help he needs, to turn his life around, sends him away, gets him out of Gotham.
Yep.
And then he comes back a better person, and eventually him and his son reconnect. And it's just a beautiful story told in Batman about a half-assed villain who used to work for the Catwoman.
Yeah. I prefer like Stiltman and what Punisher did to him. The whole getting rid of all those nobodies in the bar at one point, one shot. It's just, it's just, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to just come up with something I haven't seen. So that's how that came about.
No, I like these types of stories. To me, they're just so fun. Like the worst of the worst criminals.
Yep. And, how they get their start. What made them flip?
So what do you think audience are so drawn to villain stories right now? Because we see a lot of them right now, like origin stories of villains, and we got the Absolute universe going on right now, and they're telling we got the Absolute Joker, the Absolute Catwoman, and we have all these villain origin stories going on, and they're all really damn good, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't gotten.
What do you think we all of a sudden have this huge audience drawn to that?
Do you remember when we had the two asteroids movies? The one with Pierce Brosnan and one with Bruce Willis. And we've had a lot of double things. Like, it's just what's going on in the world. And people see it and are like, I had a guy who worked at the naval base at Cannon who swore when they do that, the government's actually doing that to tell people this is what you do to prepare for it.
The radiation on that ship's leaking out, obviously.
Yeah, I'm like, no, but it is weird that you get like groups of things happening, and it kind of follows what's going on in the world, and our country is just in turmoil completely.
Yeah.
So we need to reach out to something, and we're just comic books are writing what you know. That's what it is. That's why I think you're getting more of that right now.
Yeah, and I love these types of stories, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're so fun because you can just do whatever. And that's the great thing about indie comics. Do whatever. Who's going to tell you can't do it?
The Cerebus comic with Spawn is probably my favorite Spawn of all time. Yeah. Because Todd's like, I can kill him. I can bring him back. I don't have to do anything about this. This is my guy. Mm-hmm. Next in 2 years, I have a death coming. So like, I know I'm playing around with that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just like
that's cool. You brought up the Todd father. That's my dude right there, man. He's the one that kind of like really like comic books for me,
Gotcha.
Especially there in the mid 90s, early 90s when he started, when he dropped Image and with Rob and all those guys. And
yeah, I liked it when he was writing and drawing it, like the beginning of
like I think he did the first 100,
something like that. I don't think it was that many. I don't think it was that.
Maybe the first 50.
It was. But I'm like, after he stopped writing it, I was like, I'm not really enjoying it anymore. But
he may not be writing it, but I'm telling you, he still has creative control over all that.
Absolutely.
He's still storyboarding it. Like I did really like Rat City with Erica Schultz. I thought that was a phenomenal, different version, a different story for the Spawn universe. And Erica absolutely killed it on that one. And then she did Daredevil right after that, or while she was doing that, with Elektra taking up the mantle of the Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah. It was the red band edition of Daredevil was so damn good. And like when I went to the Comic-Con this year, like the only signature I wanted was Erica's. I was like, I just came here to get your signature, and I'm done for the day.
I did that with San Diego one year. I wanted a Bruce Timm Harley Quinn for my girlfriend. I went right to him like, "This is what I want." Well, I'm like, "Can you do it? You may not be able to afford it." I'm like, "What are you charging? Because this is what I came here for. This tells me what I'm going to spend the rest of the convention. I need to know what you are and go from there." So, yeah. But like this is ToteMan number 1. This one is 27 years in the making. I wrote this in 1999 and finally just finished getting it drawn because I had to find the right person to do it.
Yeah.
And it came out at Tidewater. So like,
oh, cool.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been a lot of fun.
So do you think comedy is harder to write than a serious superhero storytelling?
I don't know, because I don't know. I think mine are funny, but I also have friends who are a lot funnier than I am. So I know I don't write serious because I'm writing for kids and above.
Yeah.
But I would think in this day and age, unfortunately, comedy would be a lot easier to write than actual realism.
Oh, yeah. Especially, no, 100%. So what do you think makes your villains in Villains Anonymous so relatable as characters?
They're exactly like Spaceball, who just all he wants to do is matter. All he wants to do is be a hero. That's his entire thing. And when he doesn't get noticed the correct way, he flips out. He gets really angry. Like, why can't people acknowledge I'm doing well? Like, it's just about being seen. The whole book is about being seen.
Yeah.
And we all have that at one point or another in our lives. I just want to be seen for me, not for Snow Globe. He loves snow globes. He goes to buy a discounted snow globe, but he doesn't want to buy it. He wants to steal it. He just wants to be seen. He's wearing a lawn ornament for Christmas, for the love of God. Like that's his costume. It's one of those blow up things. He wants to be seen. We all want to be seen. A lot of my characters have the whole they're not seen in it because that's my life. So like Spaceball he can't see him until he's noticed. Like Snow Globe wants to be seen. Captain Cleanup, which is 2 years, you never see him in the book. The whole thing is about, it's just weird things I want to try. So how do you have a superhero book that you never see the hero?
Yeah. No, it sounds like a lot of fun, but here's a fun question for you.
Yeah.
If you had to attend a real Villains Anonymous meeting, what comic villain would absolutely just dominate the conversation and all the attention?
Well, Stiltman is dead. I like Matt Gargan, Scorpion. The fact that, again, he's one of those characters who has just been verbally abused most of his life, and like the whole "don't call me stupid, don't do this." Like he is the person who would be in there crying, complaining, entire thing. No one else can get a word in edgewise. Matt Gargan, not Venom Matt Gargan, Scorpion Matt Gargan.
No, I like it. I like that one a lot. So let's jump over and we'll talk some Argyle Avenger and some NinjaBoy.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about the Argyle Avenger, other than that's where my other thoughts are?
So that's basically it. It was just everyone says, "Where's the sock?" That gets lost. So I'm like, well, what if he's out fighting crime and it's the same sock? That's the thing, is like he travels. The dryers are portals. So he'll wind up in different things. He's in Japan and New York in this one. The next one he's in Jersey, and the other one doesn't really matter what city he's in. But like, what if he's out there fighting it? And then his partner, what about that? What What's that partner doing? The partner's always sad in my book, like wondering
Yeah.
where's he going to be. The partner will probably wind up being the villain eventually, but it's just what if? And it's a fun little, like I said, portals. We get to play with characters. I got Godzilla, a kaiju in this one. We got the generic New Yorker, the guy the cleaner in this book is like he is a germaphobe, and Sock always finds a way to battle them and defeat them in the silliest way.
Yeah.
He gets the cleaner throws him into a vat of hot dog juice on the city. He flies back into the suit, crawls up in the exhaust, and the cleaner's like, oh my god, takes off his suit and falls. Like, it's just dumb things like that. Again, it's made for kids that, like, you don't have to read it. You can imagine what they're saying, what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's all on you in the book. So the first one's black and white. The second one's in color. I don't know. The third going forward. And NinjaBoy is basically about when I'm on vacation. The main hero's on vacation of Garden City. He's got to do it. He's had a long night of fighting. He calls in his helpers, the Tai Quan duo. It's Tai and Quan, and they have to go out and battle because they were actually made for Bubbler and Teen Angst.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I'm going to use them in this because they're more of the martial arts things.
Yeah,
he meets his Catwoman that they flirt back and forth, and again, it's just a very small bit at the end of somebody having a seizure, what to do. And he, after a long night of battling, he still is able to help this person because he knows somebody who has epilepsy, and he helps this guy. That's NinjaBoy and Argyle Avenger.
No, I like both of them, man, because it's just such a fun thing. And I know the only other comic book I can think of off the top of my head that has no words is Peach Momoko's Star Wars comic that she did.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been like silent issues of. I think there's a Daredevil silent issue, but I'm mistaken.
It might have been.
But yeah, I mean, it was just again an experiment. Like I did a 1930s type thing. You know, there's no words. It's black and white.
Yeah. That was actually a question on here. Was it kind of feels like a retro pulp influence behind the character and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And because
cool.
I'm Scottish, that's why he's an Argyle Avenger. So, next one is actually just Sock.
I like it. So, for NinjaBoy, when you built this comic, did you intend for it to have all this classic comic energy in it?
Yes, wholeheartedly. So his Catwoman is named Windchime, and the thing about her is she has mystical tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Her tattoos change based on her mood.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at the book and you're reading the book, you actually see when she's chasing somebody, she's got like a Black Panther on her leg. When she's jumping over a gate, she has a kangaroo on her body somewhere. So I made sure the artist knew, and he did he's the best one ever so far to get her concept. The two of them,
I like that concept. That's legit concept right there.
Yeah. And NinjaBoy and her have the ceremonial ink. So when they're next to each other as Dennis and Chun, their tattoos, like when they're standing next to each other, form the full tattoo. It's a chi symbol, the yin yang, with a rose in between. So he always has because he's a African American, he has the white side, which I never know is yin or yang, and she has the black. But when they're together, the whole thing turns solid and becomes the rose and it. So it was just NinjaBoy was to make fun of my brother as well. That's my brother. Yeah, I make fun of him in there because he loved everything samurai, ninja, had all the weapons when we were like 18 years old. We would go to Philly South Street and watch the old kung fu movies in the theater. So it was just like
I'm actually jealous that y'all actually got to go and see them in theaters. Because a friend of mine growing up, he collected the old DVDs of it. So would go to his house and we would just binge these over a weekend.
When we were kids, they had it after like the Laurel and Hardy, and they had it after all that on Saturday mornings. Well, when we became adults, we could actually go to South Philly. They had a beautiful theater, and we go and just watch them in the theater. The name is derogatory. It was my first ex-wife. She called him NinjaBoy, and that's why the B is capitalized, because she wanted to enunciate it. And I'm like, dude, are you sure? He goes, oh, I want that. I'm owning that. I'm like,
yeah,
okay. Because again, this entire thing before it was what it is was just to make fun of me and my friends and to make fun of my coworkers. Like, the man is a character who he thought he was this big, beefy guy, but he was 90 pounds soaking wet. But he always walked around like this.
Yeah.
So I gave him pump up sneakers. Remember when you guys basketball? So his weakness is anything sharp in the back. He steps on a splinter, steps on a nail, it deflates, and he becomes back to Matt. Like, it's just all dumb things to get through.
Yeah.
He's afraid of spiders. All of it is just to make fun of everything. So, I mean, Job Robber has a condom on his head.
What?
Yeah. So, when I was designing him, he actually has, if you look at his picture, I think you can see it.
Yeah.
He has a condom on his head because he's a dickhead.
Dude, that's fucked up.
So kids can't tell it, but I mean, that's what it came from. Like,
yeah.
Wave 1 has 5 figures. Wave 2 will be out next year.
Yeah.
Wind Chime will be there. She'll actually come with a sticker pack of tattoos, so her body will be blank, and you can put your own tattoos on her.
Oh, that's cool.
My youngest son created Bite Force, so that's going to be out next year, and then ToteBoy is out next year. But even the packaging for all these is just
it's the old retro
insane superpowers.
Yeah.
Even with the pump up sneaker power.
Dude, yeah, that's cool. I love those.
If you're gonna do it, you do it right.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make it feel right. Yeah. So what do you think is missing from modern superhero storytelling that they got right with the older stuff?
I think just like movies, everything's just being rehashed. There's nothing new. I'm excited to see Terminal. Everyone's talking about that from Kirkman. That's going to be like X-Men in the Invincible universe. I'm excited to read it. Walking Dead was just like a blown up thing. It happened greatly. 30 Days of Night is my absolute
damn good
sleeper comic.
Yeah. Did you read? Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Did you read the latest one?
No, but I met him. I talked to him. I bought his novel, and I just let him the storytelling alone just made it. And how did it take that long for someone to think of that about vampires?
So in the new one, so you know the original one, he kills the main vampire, right?
Right.
And the new one, his brother is back for revenge for the death of his brother.
I'll have to go look
Dude,
again.
this shit is so good.
It was such a sleeper, and the movie did not do it justice. The movie did not do that.
The movie was good, though.
It was good, but it didn't do it justice.
Yeah,
because I guess with the darkness,
they lost me with The Walking Dead. I love the comic book for The Walking Dead. It's so damn good.
Yes.
The granted, they have to take some creative liberties with the TV show, right? But when they killed Carl, I was like, you can't kill Carl. He's telling the damn story.
Right.
And then when they killed him, I was like, never again. And that was the last episode I watched.
The Boys what got me. You change some things, but that's nothing like the book. You got the names of people. Yeah. That's it.
Well, you can't show some things from the comic book in the TV show. They would just.
I know, that's why I was like, I couldn't believe they're actually going to try it. I'm like,
I mean, there was certain they pushed the limits, like with the scene with Homelander on the roof or the building, doing his business.
But
they
why
pushed
couldn't they have their powers? Why couldn't the boys have their powers? Why?
Yeah.
That's not something you need to take out. The hero-gasm, the entire episode of that, the whole comic I get you can't have it in there.
Yeah.
But why couldn't they have their powers like they did in the book?
No, I agree with that. And I haven't watched the newest season yet. I was waiting for it to all come out. So
exactly. Same here.
I will be okay with how it ends if it ends the way of the comic book. If it doesn't end any way other than the way it ends in the comic book, it's a foul, and they should never pick up another one and do it again.
I agree, and that's where I'm at. Like, but I mean, yeah. So like nowadays, you're rebooting DC how many times?
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
I haven't read much of the Absolute, but I'm assuming it's close to when
Ultimate. I don't read a whole lot of DC or Marvel anything. There's certain things I will pick certain covers from the Absolute universe because it's done by one of my favorite artists or something. Yeah, but I don't read a whole lot of that. I'm an indie guy through and through.
I guess it's technically indie again now. Is Master Universe. I have everything. I have a subscription to it, but there's not much else. I mean, I read my friends' stuff. I make sure I support when their books come out. I'm like, yes, I'm going to get a copy just because you want the stores to see that. So, but other than that, like, it's just rehashed. Yeah. And because you are constrained, Batman can't do X. Batman can only do. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. No, and that's what's great about it, right?
Yeah, I created 2 characters for Captain Cleanup just to throw away. Like, I don't care about them. I don't need a backstory. They're just there because I don't want to use my guys.
Fodder. They're fodder.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But so do you think modern audiences are rediscovering sincerity in comics after years of the darker storytelling? Because we've had years and years of this very dark comics from like the mid 90s to
like the Max series and the what was DC's brand?
Vertigo. You look at what Vertigo. I love Vertigo. That's the only.
I'm not saying it's bad. You're just saying these are this is what we went through.
But I don't know. I'm a big proponent of Vertigo because Vertigo and when they were doing their Black Label.
Yeah.
Because I like those darker stories to begin with. I like the horror, the magic stuff. I like that kind of stuff. And I will read Vertigo all day because it's like a FU to the lighter side of DC, right? And plus Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, Hellblazer will always be up there in my top 5s. But you take a look at what's going on now with like Dynamite. They're doing the Speed Racers. They're doing DuckTales. They're doing all these like Lilo and Stitch. You know, they have all these lighthearted, fun comic books to tell the stories of the TV shows, basically. Right. But they're fun. They're different. They got Ben 10. Ben 10 was really cool because it just come out.
Yes. But I think that's because that age group is now our age, like getting older. So they're like, my son would have been a Ben 10 person. My Power Rangers, all that stuff is the millennials who are now, and they're, comic books. And now, I wonder what happened to Launchpad McQuack. What happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll find out in this comic book. So
I think I just see before we went live, there's a new run of Power Rangers getting ready to drop, and it has Old Man Tommy, the Green Ranger, in a homemade Green Ranger suit with his Dragon Zord. Dude, I was like, yes. I pre-order. I'm gonna go Wednesday when I see my guy at the comic book shop. I'm gonna be like, hey, I know I don't read a lot of Power Rangers. Like I just collect certain covers from the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, however, this one's gonna have Old Man Tommy. I'm gonna have to do that one because it's actually Tommy and rest easy JDF. But I'm like, because it's JDF, like it's him. It's like a homage to him. He is the Green Ranger in the book. And it's like the Old Man Tommy. I'm like, dude, this is going to be legit. Like if they do this right.
Like when Old Man Logan came out, that was just brilliant.
Dude, that was some amazing storytelling. But the movie ruined that one though. Straight up ruined it.
Yeah. It was just, again, when you have something that's new and creative, yes. But when you're still having the same villains, the same thing, and oh wait, we want to scrap it. Let's just change the whole universe again. No.
Yeah, no, I can't. That's one of the biggest reasons why I don't read a lot of like DC
Mainstream.
and Marvel, because they're always rebooting stuff. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, I can't get with this. I read these 12, 16 issue arcs for you to go, okay, we messed it up. We're going to reboot now.
Click.
And I'm
none
like,
of that happened.
All right, I'm done. This is why I don't have I have maybe like the Marvel stuff. I like Psylocke. I like particular covers done by particular artists.
Right.
I'll pick up. And like the Daniel Warren Johnson anniversary Wolverine that he just did. I picked that up because that book went from being $5.99 on the shelf to $89 or $90 or whatever it was, like by the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, do I sell it already or do I want to hang on to it already? I ended up keeping it because it's just such a freaking beautiful book. The black cover with the Wolverine on it with the arrows going into him.
Okay.
And it's a Daniel Warren Johnson. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to keep this one. As bad as I want to sell it and just make a quick dollar.
Right.
It's such a beautiful book. I'm like, I just can't part with it yet. Let me enjoy it on the shelf for a little bit. And then I may feel different about it. But it's such a beautiful book. I tried to, I had somebody asking me about it. And I'm like, you know what? I need some more time with it.
Ask me again in 6 months.
Yeah. You never know. Like, catch me in 6 months.
Right.
But let's talk a little bit more about some convention culture and like the indie hustle.
Yeah.
Because you've done that a lot and you've been doing it for a hot minute now.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time in conventions. So what have been some of your biggest lessons learned from working the convention scenes?
So I guess, yeah, I've been doing it for over 20 years. I remember a person who would be at a table with a megaphone yelling towards people.
Yeah.
And then when you got to talk to them, they're like, don't do comics. It's terrible. It'll never make anything for you. I'm like, then why are you doing it? Then you have the people who, like, the great thing about Chris and I is he does commissions all day. And, like, people want his commissions. But people think he's ignoring them when he's drawing and his head's down. He's working and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm the guy sitting next to him talking to them. And, hey. So Chris Mariano at Tidewater made it perfect. He's like, you need two people at a table. You need two people. You need the artist who's doing their thing and doing commissions and whatnot. And you need the loudmouth.
The talker.
The talker. So, or you need the person who hooks it and then pushes it over to the other person and they complete the sale. So doing it by yourself is just not a good idea.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned early. I don't draw, so it's very easy for me to actually talk to people all day. I love talking to people all day. I'm in IT. I talk to people all day. I also, to get their attention, I say hi to everybody who walks by. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Good morning.
Yeah.
And then shirts. I have a thing about shirts. I have my own. Like, I have a thing that I want. Oh, I have that shirt. I don't have that shirt. It just brings people into they're not ignoring you. And then you can pitch. So you have to get their attention. You have to smile. You have to talk. If you're sitting there, slumped over, looking pissed off, nobody's going to come up to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah. If I see you sitting there looking like a complete asshole.
Exactly. I joke with people. I mess with people with their costumes. And then I give out stickers for kids. Like, you just got to get their attention. Once you have their attention, they'll listen to you.
Yeah, I keep
but they'll listen.
I keep freebie stickers. Like, I buy them by like 1,000 of the Marvel and DC stickers.
Exactly.
I keep those by the 1,000. And I get them off Amazon for like $9 or something.
Exactly. People use candy dishes, which I had one guy who said it really works well for him. I don't want to do that. I'm also a dad, so I don't want my kids getting candy from somebody they don't know. Besides, Halloween's one thing, you're going to neighbors, but it's just one of those things. Like I always ask, can your kid have a sticker? Can your kid have a?
Yeah.
So it's just thinking of what parents, and my stuff's for kids, so I target families. Yeah. I really want to talk to them. So that's what I've learned for conventions. And bring water. Bring water. And yes, you can hear them Jersey and Philly because I say water. Water.
But so do you think conventions are still one of the best way for indie creators to grow, even though it's very difficult and very expensive to get into them?
So Heroes, Baltimore, New York-ish, San Diego-ish, yes. GalaxyCon, those type, the celebrity ones, no.
Those are difficult.
They're difficult to get into. They don't treat you as well as a comic book convention. Yeah. They kind of put you to a side. The celebrities are the main thing, and people are coming there for the celebrities. They're not coming for buying comics.
Well, I wouldn't even consider GalaxyCon a comic con at all.
No.
There's no comic creators there anymore. They don't go to them.
Yeah. But your local one, North Jersey has a show every other month. Find those. Those tables are usually less. They may even just let you come in just to be because, hey, we have an artist, we have a writer, we have just something. You ask. You have to ask. You have to talk to people. And don't do it the day before. Like they post it, go, hey, in April we're having it. January, reach out. Hey, what do you have for tables? Do you have talent? How do I get to go in here and table and talk to people about my comic? Try. Those are where you build up from. And then you start getting more and more, and then the bigger shows. And yes, they are expensive. Yes, you will not make your money back. But what are you in it for? Are you in it for the publicity to get your stuff known? Or are you in it for money? I'm in it. Any convention I go to, if I sell one comic book, I'm good. And people are like, well, I'm like, I have friends here. I sit with my friend all day. Yeah. I get to watch cosplay. I get to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm out of my house. I'm only here to enjoy and talk to people. If somebody buys a comic book, I'm happy. I'm going there knowing I'm not going to make my table back. It's about networking. It's about enjoying with your friends.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that to very much to some degree. But what do you think some of the biggest mistakes new indie creators are making right now?
Selling your 20-some-odd page book for $15 to $20.
Yeah, I'm not paying it.
And then if somebody asks you to sign it, you say it's a charge to sign it. That is, I've seen it at a lot of shows down here. And I'm like, I can't jump in for $25 on a book that I don't know. My books are basically $5 a piece. It's $7 for one, 2 for 10. I don't make a lot of money on them at all. $1 maybe. But I don't care. I'm there to have my thing out there. Somebody else has it in their hand, a poster in their room, a comic book on their floor of mine. That's what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
I don't indie creators are one thing. It's the people who go to the shows and all you're doing is fan art. That bothers me.
Yeah.
If you don't have your own thing, that's kind of a thing. But if you're an artist in your book and you're doing a Raphael and it brings the attention in to your book and you're selling a book, that's something different. I think the biggest mistakes are expecting to be Todd McFarlane on day one.
Yeah.
If you think your stuff's so well and it's going to be you need to make all this money, go with real expectations. Real expectations. Enjoy yourself.
So what do you think keeps indie comic creators going when the industry gets difficult? I mean, I know why I do what I do, but
I was gonna say I know why I do it. We all just again want to be seen.
Yeah.
That I guess it all boils down to that. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a drudge. But if you're passionate about your idea, your story, you're gonna keep going.
Mhm.
You're gonna, like I said, I've already paid for all of my books for the next up till 2030.
Yeah.
I'm only doing a Kickstarter to get people to see it and pay for printing. I just want it out there. But I knew no one's going to take a chance on me. Nobody knows me. I'm going to write it. I'm going to hire an artist and I'm going to get it made, even if it's just for me and my family.
Mhm.
I'm doing it. So mine's my family, just continuing to make them laugh.
And it's funny. I'm like, when I said I know why I do this, and that's because I want to put the John McLarens into the mainstream medias. I want to put, the Dooleys, the Mark Dooleys, into the mainstream media.
Right.
My goal is to make indie comics mainstream, not the necessarily what we do mainstream, but when I can say indie comics are in everybody's house now, I want to be a part of that conversation.
That's what I want.
I want to be like, oh, I learned about indie comics from the USDN. That's what I want, is for when people are scrolling through YouTube or Facebook and go, oh shit, I like that comic book. Who is that?
Right.
And it's, they discover their new favorite artist from me. That's what I want. That's what I mean when I want to make it mainstream.
I'm with you.
And I'm doing it one damn day at a time,
Exactly.
Drudging it away, like you said, man. Just, it will happen, and I want to be one of the reasons that happens. So, but let's talk about the future, John.
Yeah.
What is the next on the docket for Phantom Inc.?
Well, Villains Anonymous is next. That's next year, along with, I believe it's Sock by himself, like not Argyle, but Sock.
Mm-hmm.
And then I should have pulled it up, but I didn't have it up in front of me. The following year is Bubbler and the final Bubbler issue and Captain Cleanup, I believe.
Okay.
Off of my memory. And then it's Junkyard Jess and Hair Freon. Then it's the incredibly unbalanced adventures of Bob. He is a superhero with.
I'm laughing because I know a lot of people named Bob.
Well, see, in our household, that's the generic person. It's just like, who did it? Bob. Bob did it.
Yeah.
So it's about a guy who is schizophrenic, multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, I think most of the Bobs I know maybe leaning that way.
Right. And he's given medication that actually tells me that you could gain superpowers from it. It's, again, a joke book.
Yeah.
And he's in a comic book store when it explodes, and he now has every personality has a different ability. Arachno Bob, Dark Bob, Ultra Bob.
Yeah, that's what I love about what you're doing, man. Everything is just freaking fun. Nothing's taking itself seriously. Your characters are just like out there, man. And that's that's something beautiful when it just shit don't take itself too seriously. Like I love serious books. I love dark books. I love horror.
Right.
But every now and then it's nothing wrong with sitting down and just reading like a book that's just making fun of anything and everything and of itself.
Exactly.
And it's like, I used to call them something. I can't remember what it is anymore, but it's like the good books that you read while you're on the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Like you don't have to put a lot of thought into it because your thoughts are elsewhere, and you can just sit there and just like let your mind go numb and read this book and laugh a little bit.
Exactly. That's what my Phantom Inc. is. It's just making fun of everything and anything. Again, our generation, like Gen X, we poke fun at everything. It's just,
yeah. I don't give a shit. Like
exactly. Like there's just so many things, and yeah, we're just here to have fun. And my friends now, like they're at the Fungion. are all these artists and whatnot, and they're DC and Marvel people, and I'm like, I snuck in, but they push me. They push me to be better, and they're like, oh, well, I just sold this book. I just did this book. I'm like, I want to do a new book, and then I sit down and write a new book. Like I want to do this. And they just push me. Smitty, Chris, Randy, they all push me to be better, and it's fun. And they don't think of me as, oh, he's just an idiot who wants to try and do something. They're like, no, this is cool. Let's do this. Let's do that. So they're very supportive, and it's a lot of fun.
So, what are you most excited for readers to discover next from you?
Unfortunately, Villains Anonymous. Because
I'm excited for this one too.
It's gonna be a wild ride. I have I think 4 different covers.
Do you already have the pre-launch for it?
The pre-launch is up. Yep.
Shoot me the pre-launch when we get done here.
Absolutely.
And I will make sure it makes it into the description as well. That way I can follow it too. That way I get notified when it goes live as well.
I got a cover from Brian Smitty Smith, who has done DC and done all kinds of stuff. Neil Vokes has done a cover for me. He used to do the Adventures of Batman and Superman, that kind of stuff. Chris Russo is going to do one. It's going to be a vendor exclusive, like a retail store exclusive.
Yeah.
You can have your logo put on the book. And then there'll be an add-on if you're within 120 miles, I said, of Durham. We'll come to your store and do a signing, Chris and I.
Okay.
You'll get 50 books with your logo on it. You can order more, obviously, but you'll get 50 books. They'll be exclusive to you, and nobody can get the Chris cover unless you're going to a retailer. It won't be available anywhere except Chris at shows and retailers. They have it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then Nate Lovett did a cover for me as well. So they're a lot of fun. I'm going to slowly put those out because it's going to happen in the fall. I'm trying to do it between Baltimore and Big Lick, Greensboro. Those are the 2.
Okay.
I'm going to have it between those. And then, so like I said, and these will actually be made into real medallions.
Dude, yeah. I want one of those so bad.
Anybody on the first day physical, you get one of these if you pledge for physical.
Yeah, I always do physical. I always end up with a whole bunch of digital copies of comic books, and they just go into a folder on my external drive that says digital comics, and that's where they reside. As soon as I get the physical copy, I sit down.
You have to touch it,
and I read it.
You have to touch it, and so there'll be a
you gotta immerse yourself in that new comic smell and the paper and all the paper. People use different weights of paper for the covers and just.
And I'm working on
immersive.
I'm working on ToteMan, the first issue being in newsprint. I have people in Maryland who are going. I'm working with that company to actually release it with the original covers and newsprint inside. That's another thing coming.
There's a label currently doing. I think it might be. Is it Ignition? Who is doing their stuff in newsprint? Like the cover is a normal comic book cover.
Right. That's what mine's going to be.
But most of them, like the pages and stuff, are like newsprint. And it's really cool. The book is like thick.
Yeah.
But it feels like a newspaper. Like it weighs nothing.
My ads. It goes with my old ads too. It all works together. There'll be a tier for catch up on all the other comics that I've done. There'll be action figures, the 3D printed ones, and there'll be 5 available that I hand painted originally. Yeah. There's gonna be all kinds of different tier. I'm doing trading cards from people who I've known for years, and they've done art over the years for me. Like, hey, can I use your art in my trading card? Yeah, cool. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna change some things, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Dude, I like it, man. I do, and maybe I'll see a upcoming convention. I know. I'm going back because people they close stuff too early on me, and I'm trying to get into as many as possible because, why are you closing this in you're not until August? Why are you closing in it's May? Why are we closed? What are we doing? So I'm trying to get into a few of the same ones you're actually going to be visiting.
And when I was doing,
you froze on me, John.
Yeah, like there's a. I'm sorry.
You're freezing on me.
Did I lose you?
No, you're good.
Sorry.
But yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, now you're good. Like I could hear you like kind of talking, but nothing was coming out.
Gotcha. Sorry. When I was out doing talking to people about the Kickstarter in stores, Epic Mighty Minicon in Wendell, North Carolina is like, hey, you want to come to the show? I'm like, yes, we'll come to the show. Mm-hmm. So it's been a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's really nice and looking forward to all these cons this year.
Yeah. No, this year is like my year that I want to do at least 2 to 3. Just get my foot in the door and just getting the feel for it and just doing it. And from a creator perspective. But John, let everybody know where they can find you right now.
So I have Linktree with Gen X Toy Box. I have the Kickstarter. If you search Gen X Toy Box or ToteMan, you will find me everywhere.
And I'll make sure that the Kickstarter description goes into the description when I release this on YouTube later, because he's going to send that to me. And right now, if you go into the description, you can find his Linktree and all of the above. But I will make sure that Kickstarter makes it into the description when I release this here in a couple of days. Perfect. But John, thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait, dude.
Neither can I.
Villains, man, it's going to be freaking awesome. I'm so excited for that book. But I'm going to bring it home now, and if you could hang out just for a few minutes after the fact. But tonight we explored the worlds of Phantom Ink Comics with creator John McLaren. From the heartfelt mission behind ToteMan to chaotic fun of Villains Anonymous to the retro spirit that still fuels indie comics today. Conversations like this are exactly why indie comics matter. They're personal, they're creative, they're built by people willing to turn passion into something real. So make sure you support independent creators, support indie comics, and support the people still keeping imagination alive one page at a time. Because this is the USDN Podcast, where indie comics come to life. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is adjourned. Enjoy your long weekend if you have one, and stay safe.
It's a trap!